Once or twice a year, a state Supreme Court will hand down an important decision about bankruptcy law. And so it was this week with the Connecticut Supreme Court in a significant decision involving the homestead exemption. Connecticut, up until 2021, had a rather modest homestead exemption of $75,000, which, these days and times with high prices of homes in the Northeast, that's not enough to protect someone's home. Well, the Connecticut legislature in 2021 raised the exemption to $250,000. That raised an issue for bankruptcy judge Tancredi in Hartford, Connecticut, because the question was this: does the increased exemption apply to debts of a debtor that were incurred before the exemption was raised from $75,000 to $225,000? Judge Tancredi ruled that yes, the larger exemption did apply to the old debts. The district court was inclined to affirm, but said, listen here, this is really a question of state law. And so the district judge certified the question to the Connecticut Supreme Court. The High Court in Connecticut, which sits in Hartford, had several interesting, difficult issues to consider, one of which was choice of law. Does federal law or does state law apply? Well, without getting into the weeds, the Connecticut Supreme Court chose the type of law, namely state law, which can make life much more difficult for debtors. But nonetheless, the Connecticut Supreme Court went on to rule that in fact the larger $250,000 exemption does apply to debts that were incurred before the exemption was raised. Now, you may ask, why am I talking about a decision that ostensibly entails only one state? Well, the reality is of this: the same thing can happen elsewhere, and I suspect will. With the increasing prices of homes, other states are likely to raise their homestead exemptions. The rationale that was employed by the Connecticut Supreme Court, I think, will apply perfectly well to any other state that may do the same thing to better protect its citizens. So pay attention to this Supreme Court case from Hartford, Connecticut, if you happen to have an issue that involves the increased homestead exemption, or for that matter, any other type of an exemption under state law. I am Bill Rochelle, the Editor-at-Large for American Bankruptcy Institute. I shall return same time next week with something interesting from the world of bankruptcy, but until then, be well, stay safe. Good day.